And um and that's what the song is talking about. Like it's good to honor people, but not to the point where you're dishonoring yourself, you know.
That's the thing about being renowned is basically focused. It's supposed to be an outside definition of what people think of you. But I like to ask
Hmm.
people, what do you think of yourself? What is known
Right.
and talked about you at this moment
Yeah. I mean, okay, go ahead.
of you from your perspective? Is many
Hmm.
times we don't stop and say, what do I think about me? We have so
Hmm.
many judgments of people around us, how things made us feel. But what part did I play in me actually achieving this energy that I have around me now?
Okay, so let me tell you this. So at one point in my life, I had gotten up to my highest weight was 505 pounds, right? And it was such a struggle to just get up in the morning, like just a struggle to go on stage, to perform, all of those things. And through a lot of depression and anxiety, that's where the weight just kept coming and coming and coming, you know. And so I recently looked at an old picture of myself. I made a side by side picture of where I am now versus where I was then, and I put them together. And someone asked me, they were like, "Man, when you look at the way you used to be, like, are you embarrassed by that? Do you feel sad when you look at that?" And I thought about it for a second, and I looked at it, and I said, "Okay, the guy, the bigger picture of me was on the left, and I described him as that guy." And I said, you know what? I said, when I look at that guy, I don't feel sad looking at him because I see someone that didn't give up. I see someone that was so strong mentally, even though he didn't know he was back then, to continue to do the things that he was doing and to continue to keep moving. And I told him, I said, when I look at that guy, I'm grateful for him because it's because of him that I get to be me right now, because he didn't give up no matter what. I mean, if you can imagine getting to the point where your mother is so worried about you, when you wake up, the first thing you do is call her just to let you know that you're awake because she's afraid you might die in your sleep
Right.
because of you. So imagine, living like that, the embarrassment of having a trainer and not being able to fit in the gym equipment, but ignoring the stairs, like the mental capacity that you have to go through that and keep pushing through. I didn't understand it then. I didn't think I had it. I thought I was weak. So when I think about myself now, I think about myself in terms of how strong I have been and all the things that I have overcome to get to where I am today.
When you watch some of the greatest comebacks in sports, it's not interesting unless you're down by 40 points first. So for you to appreciate the man on the left is the whole circumference of and totality of what the comeback looks like.
Yeah.
It's not great unless there is a moment of I have to stop this emotional eating. I have to put
Right.
this down and no one is coming to save my emotions but me. I have
Yeah.
to regulate
Yeah.
myself. I'm a person
Mm-hmm.
who gives out energy. Everybody thinks I'm okay all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
know what? I'm not okay. Let me eat this food. This food makes me feel good. This is comforting.
Right.
And I'm talking about
Yeah.
me,
Right.
right? So I
Yeah.
understand exactly where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly where you might wake up in your sleep from a snore and did I stop breathing for a second?
Right. Right.
And here we are. You now looked at the left and said, I'm going right and I'm going to make myself right. There are any books that you read that might have helped you develop yourself to where you were going?
Um, I'm, man, it's been so many things, but this is probably the funniest thing. Oprah Winfrey, right? When I was coming up, she always talked about her weight struggles, and it used to draw me in to her because she was so open and honest about it. And when I think back, I said she probably did it because she knew people were already talking about it,
Mhm.
and so she wanted to take ownership of it and address it herself. And so she used to write these books. She had this one called Make the Connection, about working out and all these things. So I used to snatch up all that little anything she put about weight loss and dealing with your emotions, all that stuff. I used to pick it up. But there's a bunch of books that I read, but the main thing for me was actually when I started meditating.
Mm.
And once I started meditating and really getting to know myself as a higher being and not just this physical body, and understand that I was bigger than this, that's when things started to click in a different way for me. So really it was more of that than anything else that helped me change. And I'm not saying I don't still go through my, depression things some days, and I'm just coming out of a bout of that, but I've learned how to, even when I'm going through that, I've learned how to still keep moving and still keep working through it, still keep getting things done. Because
Absolutely.
the,
I'm
yeah,
listening.
because the big thing for me is on the other side of it, I don't want to have the regret of, oh man, this last 5 months, I didn't get anything done. I didn't do anything. Now I got to play catch up. Now I'm stressed again because I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And recently, I will say this, because I realized I was getting complacent and I needed to do something to challenge myself. And so I was talking to one of my cousins, and he's a workout guy. He never had any weight issues or anything like that. But he understands, the depression and things like that because he's dealt with those things too. And so he encouraged me. He's like, you need to find something to do. Because I already work out with my trainer and do certain things. And I was like, I need to do something that I don't want to do. And so I said, okay, I know the one thing I don't want to do is walking up steps. So I live on the 22nd floor. So I decided, I said, okay, I'm gonna walk the steps every day for 30 days, no breaks, right? So just 12 flights, not even all 22. I said, I'm gonna start with 12 flights. And that's what I did. I did it every single day. I posted about it on TikTok to keep myself accountable. You know,
Yeah, they got to.
I hated it. I hated it. I hated it, hated it, hated it every single day. Every single day. But what I started noticing was I was regaining control over my mind. It wasn't even about losing more weight. It wasn't about like the cardio health. It was about the activity of making myself and committing to that thing I knew I didn't want to do.
And you had control. You regained control.
Yeah. And it made everything else easier
As
because all the other things that I really didn't want to do weren't so bad after all. You know?